Have enough height that your knees are basically the same level as your hips. Sit higher if you have any doubt at all. Okay, and welcome to Sunday practice. Thank you so much for coming. I hope everything is going well wherever you are in the world and wherever you are on your path. Okay, so we started our Light on Yoga committed study group yesterday, which was so great. And you know, we're studying Light on Yoga, and if you don't have Light on Yoga, I really highly encourage you to get it. It's such a rich book. I mean, it's like an encyclopedia of yoga. And I was just amazed. Of course, I've read it before, but just rereading it against some of the basic information is just so important. So if you get a chance to get your copy of Light on Yoga, get that and just have it by your mat and read a little bit of it and read how he asks you to come into the poses. And all of the poses are in here, and there's sequences in the back that you can do on your own. It's really a good book to have. And the yoga word for today is ahamkara. Ahamkara. And ahamkara is the Sanskrit word for ego. But ego is not a bad thing necessarily. Ego is just your sense of I-ness. We all have that, don't you? You can't really survive without a sense of I-ness. You all have a sense of I-ness. And that sense of I-ness has been with you for your entire life. It hasn't changed. You know, when it first formulated, when you were around 2 or 3 years old, your sense of I-ness has stayed with you. And you've been that same I throughout your entire life. And you'll be that same I throughout your entire life. However, that's not your true I. That's not your true self. Your true self is inside that I that you know. So if you keep going into that sense of I-ness and you inquire into that sense of I-ness, eventually you will discover your true I. So it's like there's a small I, and that's the I-ness that we all know, the ahamkara, and then there's the bigger I, which is our true self, and that's the reality. And yoga is this wonderful path that points us to our true self. It points us to our true nature. Why? Because that's where the peace that we're looking for is. The peace that you're looking for is not out there in some relationship. It's not out there in some object. It's not out there in some substance or even in some deep trance state. What you're looking for, the peace that you're looking for, is inside yourself. It's your true I. So you have to go into your I that you know to find your true I. Ahamkara is the yoga word for today. Please switch the cross of your legs. And again, make sure that you're on enough height that your seat is comfortable. Asana means seat. So you want to make sure that you're in a comfortable seat. Make the feet soft, and then spread the backs of your thighs and pull the buttocks flesh back on the right side. And then do the same thing on that left side so that there's a sense of broadening your seat. Bring your hands onto your thighs, not too close to the knees and not too close to the hips, right at the center between the knees and the hips. And then start to balance your body weight evenly on your 2 sitting bones, moving your inner groins down and your outer hips down, and then becoming aware of your navel and becoming aware of your pubic bone. So the pubic bone is below the navel, and there's a little bit of space there, right, between the pubic bone, the pubis, and the navel. So can you draw that back a little bit and see how it affects your chest? If you let it go out, notice how it affects your chest. As you draw it back, notice what it does to your chest. It lifts the chest, and you're lifting the chest from the sides of your ribs. You're lifting from behind your breastbone. But as you lift your chest, keep descending your thighs downwards. And then bring your hands to your heart center. Lift your breastbone upwards. Keep very gently, lovingly drawing that space between your pubis and your navel backwards, lifting from behind your breastbone, lifting your back ribs, bringing your upper arm bones back, and just look straight ahead. Don't close your eyes at first, just look straight ahead, but let your vision become almost blurry so that you're starting to shift from that outward focus, that survival focus, to the inward focus. And now close your eyes, remove any glasses. And with your chest lifting well, start to invite your senses to draw inwards. The tongue relaxes, away from the roof of the mouth, away from the teeth. The jaw relaxes, the back of the throat opens. Bring your eyes back towards the brain and relax deep inside the inner ears, the inner ear, the eardrums that go there. And then soften all of the skin of the face. So there's a letting go of the facial skin, a softening over the bones. Let your breath be soft and smooth as you take deeper inhalations, longer exhalations. And as you move your head center to your heart center, see if you can feel your sense of I-ness, that ahamkara, that ego sense, that I-ness. And then go deep into the center of that I-ness. What is that I-ness really? Who am I really? This is the question of yoga. What is my true nature? So just turn your attention there. Please join me for 3 ohms. Raise your chest upwards, bow your head downwards. Release your hands to your thighs. Raise your head and slowly open your eyes. Okay, so stretch out your legs and press the fronts of the thighs to the backs of the thighs. We'll start today in child's pose with your arms forward. So Adho Mukha Virasana with your arms forward. Take any support you need under your knees, between your hips and your feet, or under your head. So you want to get your hips back. Those of you who have any knee challenges, you know the substitute pose for this, please remember, is Papa Mukhtasana. So you sit in a chair, towards the back of the chair, you take your legs wide like you're riding a horse, and you bring your hands onto blocks. So this is the pose to do if child's pose is not accessible to you. Okay? So once you're there, make sure that your hips are back, that buttocks is moving back, and then draw the thighs back deeper into the hips. But again, focus on that place below the navel, between the pubis and the navel, and not only draw it back, but spread it. So it's as if the right side of that area spreads to the right and fills up the right side of your lower back, the right SI joint, and then spread the left side of the navel to the left so that the left SI joint, the lower back region, becomes filled like an inner tube. Maintain that backward motion of your abdomen and your hips as you lengthen the sides of your trunk forward, the breastbone forward, straighten the arms, lift the undersides of the forearms upwards, turn the tops of your arms outwards away from the sides of your neck. Rest your forehead. Keep using these beginning poses to quiet yourself down, to settle yourself down, to draw that frontal brain towards the back brain. Keep coming to your sense of I-ness, that ahamkara for today. Draw your attention back to that sense of I-ness. And now come on up for downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Please take your feet at least as wide as your hands, but please decentralize if your legs are tighter. So just take your legs wider apart. The hands can be turned out about 45 degrees. The feet are turned in just a little bit so that your outer heels are in line with your outer foot bone. Anatomically, it's called the fifth metatarsal. It's a bone it's a little bit wider than your actual little toe. So the outer edges of your feet are parallel with the edges of the mat. Deepen your breath. Now, once you're in the pose for a little while, notice, are you more in your arms, more in your legs? So it is a standing pose. So see if you can straighten your arms, lift your hips, lengthen the sides of your trunk, and move your body weight a little bit more to the legs. Move the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. And now again, become aware of that place below the navel towards your pubic bone, and lift it up gently and spread it right to the right, left to the left. And then move your upper thighs, the very top of the thighs, away from your abdomen. So it's a chase that goes on. Your thighs move further back, and then your abdomen lifts and it chases your thighs back. So your abdomen gets longer. Good. And now take Uttanasana step, or jump your legs forward. Take your feet at least hip distance apart, maybe mat distance apart. That's easier, especially for the first one. Again, bring your outer heels in line with your fifth metatarsal. Take your hands wider than your feet in a straight line with your outer shoulders. Use blocks under your hands. If the legs are tight, take the legs wider. That's the first thing. Tight legs, decentralize. Decentralize. Stiffer back, raise the floor higher, or put your hands onto a wall. If there's any back discomfort, put your hands onto the wall. Good. Now with your outer heels in line with your fifth metatarsal, spread the toes and then lean into your fingertips more. Lean forward into the fingertips so that the weight of your pelvis comes more over your ankles and it's not hanging back in the heels. That's the way. And then take your hands even wider and see if you can bring your palms flat to the floor. Release the head, but keep the elbows bending out to the sides. That's it, elbows. See if you can bring your palms flat to the floor. Palms flat to the floor. Palms flat to the floor. There you go. Let the head go. Yes. And then go back into downward facing dog, stepping or jumping, downward facing dog pose. Downward dog. Now, once you're here in this downward facing dog, again, grip the elbows, grip the knees, lift the hips away from the hands, maximize that length on the sides of the trunk, but be in the pose as if you're in the pose from that place between the navel and the pubic bone. So it's drawing back and it's spreading. That's it. And then you can visualize that your hips are being held up by ropes. So there's a lightness that comes in the pose. It's not a heavy pose. And now come forward into plank pose. Make sure that your shoulders are right over the wrists. Make sure that your hips are as high as your shoulders. Don't let your hips be lower than your shoulders. And don't let your buttocks be higher than your shoulders. Look forward. Make sure that your metatarsals are directly below your heel, as if the bottoms of your feet, the soles of your feet, were pressing flat into a wall. So make your feet like Tadasana. That's the way. And then find again that place between the navel and the pubic bone, and lift it up and spread it. So you find that spreading. That's it. And then keep your breastbone reaching forward. Roxana, your hips are really dropping. Bring your hips as high as your shoulders, as high as the shoulders. There you go. That's the way. Good. Now bring your knees down. Keep your knees right where they are. And don't let your abdomen drop down. With your knees down, balance on your left knee and your right hand, and lift up your right leg behind you without arching the back. So don't let the back arch, keep the navel lifting, and then extend your left arm up alongside your ear. So this is the four-pointed pose. That's it. Yes, make sure that your abdomen isn't dropping. Don't let your right leg turn out. So lift that place even more, from between the navel and the pubic bone, lift it upwards. Good. And now bring the hand and the knee down. Get your breath. Good. And now reverse it. Other leg, other arm. So keep the leg lifts from the inner thigh. The arm reaches forward. Look slightly forward. Look forward and lift the navel up. Lift the navel up. Don't let your back arch. Don't let your abdomen get pulled down by the force of gravity. Straighten the back leg. Excellent. And now release. Very good. And go back into downward facing dog pose. Downward dog. And lift into downward dog from that abdominal region. Now with your arms straight, your inner hands pressing, you're rinsing the arms, the forearms are rolling in, the top of the arms are rolling out. Connect your arms to the shoulder blades. Move the top of the shoulder blades into your back ribs so that the top of your chest, your collarbones is moving towards your shin bones, towards the shin bones. Relax the jaw and then very slowly, go slow, start to slowly lift the heels. So you're opening up your ankle joint, getting rid of the wrinkles in the ankle. Lift the shins up, lift the kneecaps up, and then lift your heels as high as you can, but lift from your abdomen, like you're lifting your hips up from the abdomen region. That's the way, yes. And keep moving the chest backwards. Move the chest back towards the legs by bringing the top of the shoulder blades into the back. Make sure as you do that you're not letting the top of the arms turn in. The top of the arms turn out. Now maintain that lift of your abdomen and your outer hips as you reach the heels back and down. Excellent. Step or jump forward, Uttanasana once again. Uttanasana, again, take your feet either as wide as the sticky mat or hip distance apart. Line up your outer heels with your fifth metatarsal. Take your hands super wide apart. Lean forward into your fingertips. Start with your fingertips so you're shifting the back of the heel skin towards the arches. So you're located on the bottoms of your feet, right where the heel turns into the arch. That's the center of gravity in the standing poses. Lift your inner knees up. Spread the backs of the thighs. Keep the hips lifting. Now find that abdominal region again and lift it up into the body and then bring your abdomen up and towards your head. Bring your tailbone towards your head. Bring your palms flat and move your hands further back if you can. Some of you can even hold on to the ankles. Hold on to the backs of your ankles. Even bring your thumbs around to the outer ankles and gently go down. Don't think of going in. Go down. Lift the abdomen up and pour it down. Relax the neck. Bring the armpits to the elbows. Good. And now bring your hands to the hips. Reach the chest forward and cup up you come. Great. Come to Tadasana in the center of your mat. Bring your big toes and your inner heels together, just like he says there in Light on Yoga, for the very first pose. Tadasana also is sama stiti. Sama is the same. Remember we had that word a while ago as one of the yoga words of the day, sama. Sama stiti. Stiti is standing or steadiness. So you should have an equal, a sameness, a steadiness in your Tadasana. Tadasana is mountain. So inner heels together, big toe mounts together, spread the toes and press down through the metatarsals, press down through the inner and the outer heel and locate your body weight. So you have to shift back a little bit so that the body weight is right there, right where the heel turns into the arch. Move your thighs back, draw the outer hips in. The outer hips have to come in, and then that lower navel, it draws back, and your chest lifts, not by pushing this way. It lifts from inside, lift from behind your breastbone, so that you're not just pushing the lumbar spine forward. Make your arms straight, and your arms come back behind you, because the chest comes in front of the arms. Now bring the back of your head and line it up with your sacrum, and bring the tailbone forward under the crown of the head. And then raise your arms upwards, Urdhva Hastasana. You know, this was also called Tadasana, right? This is also called Tadasana. And he says in Light on Yoga, just for convenience sake, we bring the arms down. But your Tadasana should feel like this on the sides of your trunk. It should feel lengthened. You should feel this Urdhva Hastasana in your Tadasana. Make sure that your arms are straight. Your arms are as straight as your legs. You're pushing down through the heels, that right where that heel turns into the arch. Draw that lower abdomen back, lift your chest, and move the arms back. Now interlace the fingers above you, turn your palms upwards. That's it. This is all Tadasana. Squeeze your outer upper arms in. Now focus your eyes someplace forward. Find that place below your navel towards your pubic bone, and then lift your heels up. Lift your heels up. Go upwards from your abdomen. Arms are back. And now slowly bring the heels down. That's it. Separate your hands and bring your arms out to the sides and down. Tadasana. That's it. Good. Now raise your arms out to the sides this way. Shift your body weight back into that place where the heel turns into the arch. As you turn the tops of your arms out, flow the back upper neck muscles down. Connect that. It's two movements. Make sure that you're not dropping your back ribs. Don't just drop the back ribs. Lift the back ribs and lift from behind your breastbone. And then take your arms up and aim your arms behind your head. Aim your arms behind your head. That's it. So, but shift your body weight back into the front of the heel area, thighs back, draw that abdomen back, outer hips are in. Now interlace your fingers the less habitual way. Turn your palms upwards. Squeeze your outer upper arms in. Look forward. Draw that navel, the space between the navel and the pubis back as you come up with your heels. Lift your heels all the way up like we did in Mukhtasana, right? We were lifting the heels upwards. Draw that navel in. And then slowly bring your heels down. Inhale, press the heels down, bring your arms out to the sides and down. Tadasana. Very good. Now those of you who do full arm balance, get ready for full arm balance. Those of you who do half full arm balance, get ready for that. Otherwise you can do downward dog with your heels at the wall, or if you'd like to rest, put your legs up the wall with no support under your hips. Put your legs up the wall. No one said that they were on their menstrual cycle, so I'm not giving menstrual cycle variations. If that's a mistake, please let me know and I'll correct it. Okay, so get ready, full arm balance, half full arm balance, walking your feet up the wall, downward dog with your heels up the wall, or just simply legs up the wall. You have 4 choices. That's it. Straighten your arms, straighten your arms, straighten your legs. Scrub the heels up. Good, and then once you're in your pose, whatever pose you're in, make the brain of the pose for today, that space between the navel and the pubic bone, draw it back and feel how it affects the pose. Draw the tailbone in. Those of you with your in full arm balance, take the buttocks up to the heels. Those of you in the half, that's it. Keep drawing that navel and lift your outer hips up. That's good, friend. Those of you with your heels at the wall, just keep pressing those heels back into the wall. Very good. And then come down, rest. Rest in Uttanasana if you did full, and rest in child's pose if you did half or downward dog. Those with your legs up the wall, just stay there because we'll do it a second time. Let go your head. Yeah, you can hold your elbows. Release. Very good. Okay, and then come up. Let's do it a second time. Any of those poses. Those of you with your legs up the wall, extend your arms up alongside your ears. Make it more active. So you're doing leg lifts, but you're doing the support of the wall. Stretch your arms. That you're doing Urdhva Prasarita Padasana with your arms up. So you're lengthening and draw the navel down. Those of you with your legs up the wall, draw your navel down so that the sides of your waist come down. Those of you doing downward dog, lift the navel up. Those of you doing half, draw the outer hips up, draw the navel back and move your chest back to the wall. Those of you doing full arm balance, as the navel draws back, bring the tailbone forward, lift the buttocks up. Lift the buttocks up higher, straighten the arms. If you can balance, balance. Look down and balance for a moment. That's the way. Straighten those arms. Good. And then everybody come down and we'll all do Uttanasana with your buttocks at the wall. So come and everybody stand up, including legs up the wall, folks. Put your buttocks against the wall. Have your feet about 2 feet forward away from the wall. So it's called angular Uttanasana. Take that outer heels in line with the 5th metatarsal. Bring your hands to the hips. So your buttocks is on the wall. Hold your elbows and go down. And of course, if that's too much, put a chair in front of you. Put a chair or just use a countertop in front of you. This way. You can also just put your forearms on the seat of a chair. Okay, otherwise, just put your forearms on a countertop and rest in that way. That's the way. Straighten the legs. Press in between that space between your big toe and your second toe so that there's no chance of hyperextension of the knees. The top of the shin bone is forward. You're not hammering it back. Lift up through the inner knees. Lift the abdomen up and then come further down through the sides of your trunk. Pull the elbows down. Switch the cross of your arms and even bring your ears down. Bring the crown of your head down. Think of the sides of your trunk like a slinky, but it's all coming from that abdomen. Very good. Now bring your hands to the hips, reach the chest forward, and up you come. Okay, so now some of you will need a brick, so make sure to have a brick. We're going to do these two poses. Watch. My left foot is at the wall. My right leg is wide. Utthita Hasta Padasana, Parsva Hasta Padasana, Utthita Trikonasana, and then eventually Parsva Konasana, Utthita Parsva Konasana. So we'll do all four of those poses. Please get ready. Come to Utthita Hasta Padasana. Have a brick behind your right heel. Left foot is at the wall. Make sure that your right foot is all the way out under the hands. Yes, Utthita Hasta Padasana, the toes are forward. The toes are forward, that's it. Push your outer left foot into the wall and keep it there. It doesn't change throughout all four of these poses. Now from the top of your right leg, turn your right leg out. Turn the right leg all the way out from your hip. But don't let your left shoulder come forward. Don't let the left shoulder. The left hand can either be on the wall or even on your hip is fine. But anywhere, the right arm is up. So turn the inner right leg to the outer right leg. Keep pushing into the wall with that outer left hip. Draw the outer left hip in. So lift your chest. So this is Parsva Hasta Padasana. Press your heels down. Lift up through the kneecaps. Keep the back of your head and your sacrum in alignment. Back of your head and your sacrum. Tailbone forward. Come into Utthita Trikonasana. Utthita Trikonasana triangle pose. The hand is on the shin. Maybe you can even use the brick for this pose. You can even use a chair. If it's challenging, you can put your hand onto a chair. Very good. Now, as you straighten your back, left leg, push the outer left heel back. Press your inner right foot down. Turn the top of your right arm outwards. And now focus again on that place under your navel towards the pubis. Draw it back. Spread it, but also turn your abdomen up towards the ceiling. Turn it. Turn it up to the ceiling and bring the right side of your tailbone forward. The right side of your tailbone forward. That's it. Spread your arms. Good. Now slowly bend your front knee. Bring the knee right over the ankle. Bring your right hand down to the brick or the floor. Pause. Your arm should be in a straight line. And now move your outer knee back into your right arm. Move the right knee back into the right arm. So there should be a connection there. Push the left foot into the wall. Keep your left leg straight. Draw the navel back. Spread it, but turn it up to the ceiling. Same thing. Turn it up. And bring the right side of your tailbone forward. Push into the wall with the outer edge of your left foot. Turn the top of your arm, left arm, and bring it alongside your ear. Bring it alongside the ear. Utthita Parsva Konasana. That's it. Don't let your top arm go too far down. It should be in a nice diagonal line with the left side of your trunk. Beautiful. Now lift up your left arm. Press your right foot and come up out of the pose. Turn your right foot in. Step or jump your legs together. Let's go to the other side. Right foot will be to the wall and the left leg will be wide with the toes all going forward. Utthita Hasta Padasana. This is 4 poses. Make sure to have your brick, if you're utilizing your brick, behind your left heel. Behind that left heel. Okay, so raise your arms. The back hand can maybe be on the wall. Press your heels down. Lift your kneecaps up. Toes are still forward. Some of you are in the second pose. The toes are forward. The toes are all going forward. Utthita Hasta Padasana. Arms are out to the sides. Good. Now we go to the second pose. So from the top of your left leg, turn your left leg out. Turn it out. Line up your left heel with your back arch. Pull up through your kneecaps by pressing the heels down. Tammy, bring your right hip in, away from the dresser. Bring the right hip in. That's the way. Don't let your right hip be higher than your left hip. Robin, turn your left leg out more. Turn the left knee so the left kneecap is going all the way out. That's it. Parsva Hasta Padasana. Now lift your chest up, draw the navel back. As you lift your chest, come into the pose, Utthita Trikonasana. Utthita extended triangle pose. And then go down to your base. Press the outer edge of your right foot into the wall. Press the inner edge of your left foot down into the floor and pull up through the kneecaps. Turn the legs outwards. Both of your legs are turning outwards. The left leg even more than the right leg. Now draw the abdomen back, spread it, and turn it up to the ceiling as you bring the left side of your tailbone forward. Bring it. The left side of the tailbone goes forward. Lengthen the sides of the chest, spread the arms, turning the inner arms to the outer arms. Yes, you can lift the chin, you can look upwards if your neck is okay. And then bring the shoulder blades in. Good, now slowly inhale. As you exhale, bend your front knee, bring your left hand down to the floor or the brick. You should feel a connection of your outer left knee going back into the left arm. That's it, yes. But don't lose the connection of your outer right foot bone, that fifth metatarsal pushing into the wall. Your inner right leg is lifting. Now draw your abdomen back, spread it, and turn it up to the ceiling and bring the left side of your tailbone forward. Left side of the tailbone forward. Pull up higher with your top arm. Pull up higher with the top arm. Turn the top arm and extend it towards the back of the ear. Then lift up your inner right leg. Lift your inner right leg off the floor. Bring your weight off of the front leg so much, into the back leg. That's the way. Yes, good. Your upper palm is downwards. Very good. Now lift up your right arm, press your left foot down, and come up out of the pose. Very good. Step or jump your legs back together. Stand in Tadasana for a moment. Pressing, bring the big toe mounts together, bring the inner heels together. Flatten your thighs onto your bones. Move the buttocks down. Draw the outer hips in and draw that navel back and feel how it helps you lift your chest. Navel out, drops the chest. Navel back, lifts the chest. But don't push the front ribs forward as you lift the chest. Draw the shoulders back. Very good. Now, Uttanasana. So you'll have your right foot about 1 foot more or less from the wall. Right foot, 1 foot from more or less from the wall. Step your left leg way back about 4 feet and take your fingertips up the wall. Uttanasana. Make sure that your right heel is drawing a straight line to the back left heel. Turn your back foot out 60 degrees, more than 45, turn it 60 degrees out. If you need more space, move your right foot more to the right. Move your right foot more to the right. Yes. Walk your hands all the way up the wall, as high as you can be on your fingertips. Okay, now press the outer edge of your left foot down into the floor like you were pushing it into the wall. Take your inner left thigh back away from the wall and take your outer left hip forward towards the wall. Bring your outer left hip as far forward as your right hip. See if you can sense, is my left hip further back than my right hip? Bring your left hip further forward. Heidi and Bethany, left hip further forward, left hip further forward. Yes, now ask yourself, is my abdomen dropping? Some of your abdomens are dropping to the floor. Can you draw that space up from underneath the navel and up into the body? Spread it and then lift it towards your hands. Lift it upwards, lengthen the sides of the trunk upwards. Keep moving the right hip backwards without lifting the right inner foot. Come to the wall there, Nancy, where you were doing downward dog. Go to that other wall so you can really walk your hands way up that wall. You'll get a better pose. Much better. That's it. Right foot forward. Very good. That's it. Good. And now release. Switch your legs. Left foot will be about 1 foot away from the wall, and your right leg is back about 4 or 4.5 feet. Line up your front left heel with your back right heel. Otherwise, move your left foot more to the left. Walk your hands as high up the wall as you can go and be on your fingertips, which forces you to work your legs more. So as you press the outer edge of your right foot down, take your inner right knee back, take your inner right thigh back away from the wall, but bring your outer right hip forward. Press your inner left foot down, draw the outer left hip back. So now your hips are more even, but then draw the navel back, spread it, and lift it upwards towards your hands. Lift it upwards towards your hands as you move the hips back. Move the hips back. That's it. Good. And then there's that same chase that goes on in downward dog. As you move the hips back, the abdomen is lifting and it's chasing those thighs. So lengthen the sides of your trunk upwards. Walk your hands higher up the wall. pressing the fronts of your thighs into the backs of the thighs. These are all coming well. Tracy, your abdomen is dropping a little bit. Draw that, that's it, yes. So another way to say it is to lift the frontal hip points up. Good. Okay, and now release. Very good. Some of you, you can continue to work on that pose. Others of you, you will need either a chair or a wall. I'll show you, and then you can see what you're going to do. I'm using a chair here, and I have a blanket on the top of my chair. So I'm standing in front of my chair in Tadasana, and then I'm bringing my right foot up, and then I'm bringing my right foot onto the back of the chair. If you don't have a chair, you can just have it onto the wall. Some of you can go higher up the wall, I don't mind. But if your left leg is buckling, then you've gone too far. If your sacrum is dropping, you've gone too far. So practice satya, truthfulness. It's better to do less with more integrity and then to do more with less integrity. Okay, so get ready. Stand in Tadasana and then bring your right foot up onto the wall or onto the back of the chair or onto something that's around, a table, anything that will work. Bring your hands to the hips. Look down at your left foot. Make sure that your left foot isn't turning outwards. It tends to turn out, so you might have to move your left heel to the left. Make sure that your left foot isn't further back than your left hip. The left foot should be right under the left hip. Press into the sticky mat with your inner left heel. Press the inner left heel down and draw your outer left hip in. You should feel a firmness in your outer left hip. Press your inner right foot into the wall. That's it. Or if you don't have a wall, it's just going forward into space. And keeping the left hip in, draw your outer right hip down towards your inner left foot. So now, just like Uttanasana, your hips should be even. Your hip should be completely even. The right hip should not be higher than the left hip, and the left hip should not be swinging out to the side. Now draw that navel back underneath the navel, draw it back. It's not hardening, it's a softening, it's a spreading. Make that distinction, have that discernment, that viveka, that discernment as you draw the navel back. Leslie, bring your right hip further down. Bring the right hip further down. That's it, Leslie at 8S. Very good. Now, once you have the navel back, lift your chest and raise your arms upwards. Lock your thumbs above you so the palms will be forward. Pull on your thumbs and squeeze your arms into the head. Keeping your back ribs lifting, move your arms further back. Keeping your back ribs lifting, move your arms further back. Move your left thigh back. Move the left thigh back. Come into that place right on the heel where the heel turns into the arch. Beautiful. Release, other side. So stand in Tadasana and then bring your left foot up onto the wall or to the chair, whatever you're using today. And remember, those of you who can't get your foot all the way up, you can put your foot, Vivian, you can even put your foot like this. You know, I think you know that now. So you can modify, you can even have your foot there. That's fine. Or maybe you put a brick on top of the chair seat. Okay, so bring your hands to the hips. The first thing is always your foundation. The foundation is whatever's touching the floor. You can't have a good pose without a strong foundation. That's the basic rule of the asanas. So look down at your right foot. Has it turned out? If it has, move your right heel more to the right. Is your right foot further back behind your hips? Make sure that your right foot is right under your right hip. Very good. And then press into the inner right heel into the sticky mat until you feel a firmness in your outer right hip. That outer right hip has to firm in. Push into the wall or into the space with your inner left foot. Inhale, and then bring your left hip down towards your inner right foot. Draw the navel back and lift your chest upwards. Bring the back of your head in line with your sacrum. Yes, the tailbone is right under the crown of your head. Raise your arms. Lock your thumbs the less habitual way. And go up. Pull your ribs up. Lift your back ribs up. Lift your back ribs up and move your arms back. Lift your back ribs up and move your arms back without letting your abdomen push forward. Move the right thigh back. Move the outer left hip down. Excellent. And now release. Excellent. Very good. Now turn to the side. So you'll do the same one to the side. So now actually I'll show on this side. So the right side of your body will be towards the wall. Turn your right leg out and bring your right foot up onto the wall. So now you're facing forward, it's to the side, right? Make sure that you have a heel to toe alignment. Don't let your right foot go too far back, because then your buttocks is bound to go. Of course, go lower as you need to, adjust. Go lower, whatever you need to do. And just start with the hands on the hips. Make sure that your left foot is straight. So go ahead and take it. Take the pose, get your right foot up onto something. Right foot is up onto the wall or onto something. No, you have to turn forward towards the camera, Heidi. Turn so that you're facing this way, and you're turning the leg out like tree pose, and then you bring the leg up. So this is called Parsva. That's it, to the side. So as you, again, press into the sticky mat with your inner left heel, firm your left hip in, and now elongate this inner right leg, extend it, and push into the wall with that inner right foot. Draw the outer right knee back into the outer hip so that both of your hips feel like they're gathering together. There's a drawing in, and this right buttocks is coming down. Now draw your navel back, that space that's really below the navel, spread it, and move it to the left. Move your navel to the left. Bring your arms out to the sides. That's it. Palms downwards. Lift your back ribs. Now turn your palms forwards. Palms forwards. As you do that, draw your outer shoulder blades towards the inner shoulder blades. Draw the top of the shoulder blades down. Keep your back ribs lifting. Now turn your palms upwards and bring the bottom tips of the shoulder blades in without dropping your back ribs. Now spread the skin on the palms of your hands and move your thumbs downwards, back and down. Move your thumbs downwards. That's the way. Good. Abdomen is spreading and it's moving to the left. Release, other side. Okay, so now you'll bring your left foot up onto the wall or to the chair, whatever you're having on that side. And again, you have a heel to toe alignment. This leg is in Tadasana, isn't it? It's Tadasana. Press that inner right heel down, draw this hip in. It's Tadasana. This leg is just like that. This leg is like Uttanasana, isn't it? So you have a heel to toe alignment, and then you're pushing into that wall with that left foot. Elongate the inner left thigh. It's more like, almost like Baddha Konasana, right? So inner left leg to the inner left knee to the inner left foot. And then you have to draw back. There's a zipping, like a zipper, from the outer left knee into the left buttock. So both of the hips gather together. Maintain that as you draw that space underneath your navel back and spread it and lift your chest. Lift your back ribs and then take your arms out to the sides with your palms downwards. Yes. Don't let your left hip come up. Keep moving the left hip down. Move the left hip down. You should not feel like your left back waist is pushing forward. There should not be a dimple in your left back waist. Move your abdomen back into your left back waist and move your left buttocks down. Left buttocks down. That's it. Now as the navel draws back, keep the back ribs lifting. Turn your palms forwards. Draw the outer shoulder blades to the inner shoulder blades. Top shoulder blades down. Now turn your palms upwards. Yes, bring the top shoulder blades down. Very good. Now turn your thumbs downwards so you really get the bottom shoulder blades to hit in, but without dropping your back ribs. Relax your eyes, your neck, your jaw. Keep the back of your head in line with your sacrum. Soften your eyes. Very good. And now release. Very good. So those of you, so stand in Tadasana for a moment. Take a deep breath in and out. Any position that's good, or you can stand anywhere. Tadasana. Okay, so now some of you have any lower back sensitivity, stiffness in the body, or just would rather work with support. You're going to be doing those poses again on your own. So watch, you'll do the first one on your own, okay, and then you can go to the second one on your own. So you're doing them on your own. I'm trusting you to do that, right? The first one you're facing forward, the second one you're facing out. And you'll do them one after the other. Everybody else, come to the center of the room. Unless you'd like to use a wall, have your back to the wall. We'll do these poses in the center of the room. So stand in Tadasana. Feel free to have your back to the wall. That's always nice. Those of you using the support, just put your right foot up onto the chair. That's it. So in Tadasana, stand in Tadasana. Notice that I have a belt, so I'm making my arms longer. If you don't need a belt, don't use a belt. But you have to have integrity. And you're wrapping your index finger, middle finger, and thumb around the big toe, okay? Otherwise, stand in Tadasana. Lift your right leg way up. Don't bend down. Lift your right leg up and bring your belt on the inside of your right thigh and hold onto the belt really close. Otherwise, you're holding onto the toe. Bring your left hand onto the hip. Press into the sticky mat with your inner left heel. Draw the left hip in. This is your standing leg. Draw the abdomen back. Lift your breastbone up from behind your breastbone. That's it. Lift your foot higher. Lift this shoulder up. lift it up, and then slowly extend the leg. As you extend the leg outwards, straight outwards, those of you on the chair, you can lift your arms up or just keep your hands on the hips. Once the leg is out, you have to turn the arm, the lifted arm, turn it and draw the elbow back. Lift your shoulder up to the ear. Pull your foot higher. Lift your shoulder up to the ear. Lift it up. Lift it up. Very good. And now release, and we'll do the other side. And there's a strong, I didn't mention it, but there's the lifting of the leg. So watch here. So the lifting of the leg, that wasn't a good demonstration of how to go in. Pardon that. So you have to lift the leg up and then put the belt on. You don't want to bend down to get your foot. Make your legs do the work. So when I'm here, okay, I have to turn this arm, lift it. See how my shoulder goes up, and then I have to pull it back. And as I'm doing that, I'm drawing my navel in. My navel is coming in to help my leg go up. Once again on the other side. Get ready. Those of you on the chair, switch. Okay, so now press into your inner left heel. Is that right? No, your inner right heel. That's it. Lift your left leg up and then belt your left foot. Hold on to the belt. If you're using a toe, of course, hold on to the toe. Good. So press the inner right heel down. Draw this outer right hip in. Those of you on the chairs, you're doing your left leg. Now extend your left leg forward. Extend it forward. Yes. Very good. Get your balance. You'll have a wall there if you need it. Keep pressing your inner right heel down. Draw the outer right hip. Straighten your leg. Extend it. Bring your left hip down. Good. Now, like I showed you, lift your left arm, turn it, and draw the elbow back into the shoulder. Draw your navel back and lift your foot higher. Lift your foot higher. That's the way, but keep your left hip down. Very good. And now release. And now to the side. Very good. So those of you on the chair now, you're going to the sides, right? You're turning and you're repeating this. You're repeating this one on the support. Others of you, get ready. You can still be at a wall. Press your inner left heel down. Lift your right leg up. Bring your right arm. Hold on to the belt or hold on to the big toe. Now for this one, make sure that this inner left heel is down. Draw this outer left hip in. Take your left arm out to the side and take your right leg out to the side. That's it. Inhale. Keep your abdomen drawing back as you extend the leg out to the side. And keep pulling it. Draw from your outer left hip all the way to your right foot. Pull, push the toes in. Lift your leg higher. Turn the tops of your arms down. Bring the shoulder blades into the back ribs. Lift the leg higher. And now bend the knee and release. Well done. Stand in Tadasana. Those of you on the chair, switch sides. If it's too much for you, please use the support. These are not easy poses. They're really strong abdominal poses, as well as they require a lot of flexibility as well. So last time, second side. Press your inner heels down, lift your left leg up, hold on to the belt or hold on to the big toe. The right hand can be on the hip for now. Establish your standing leg. Press your inner right heel down, draw your outer right hip in. The navel is back. Turn your left leg out, bring your arm out to the side, your right arm. That's it. Inhale as you draw the navel back, stretch this left leg out. And there's no end to how far you stretch it out. Move the ball of your foot past the heel. Turn your inner arms to the outer arms. Bring your outer right hip all the way to your left foot. Outer right hip all the way to the left foot. Now draw the abdomen back and lift your chest. Bring the shoulder blades in. Excellent. And now bend the knee and release. Tadasana. Stand in Tadasana. Very good. Okay, let's come into Prasarita Uttanasana. So come to the center of your mat. Line up your heels with the back edge of your mat. Step or jump your legs wide apart. Keep your heels lined up with the back edge of your mat. Take your heels wider than your toes. Bring your hands to the hips. Press your heels down. Roll your shoulders back. Keep the navel lifting back and spreading as you lift your chest. Make that connection. Abdomen back, lifting of the chest. Come forward. Bring your hands down to the floor or blocks or chairs. Lift your chest. Lift your chest upwards. Bend your elbows. Walk your hands backwards. Rest your head down. Those of you who need a chair for support, you're using a chair this way. You can either have your forearms on the back of a chair, This can also be a countertop or a table, or you can have your forearms on the seat of a chair, this way, if you're using the support of the chair. So once you're in your pose, spread your toes. Become aware again of the fifth metatarsals, that outer foot bone. Press it down. Lift your outer ankles up. And then lift the inner legs to the outer legs. Lift the outer knees up into the outer hips. And now again, like we've been doing all class, draw that abdomen up, and like a waterfall, bring it forward towards your head side. That's it, bring it down. There you go. So it holds you in space. Those of you who have your hands down, make sure that your hands are as wide as your elbows. Elbows are as wide as the shoulders. Lift the shoulders upwards. Make sure that your elbows are as wide as your shoulders, not wider than your shoulders. And your hands are also as wide as your shoulders. Elbows and hands are as wide as the shoulders. Those of you who can, you can hold on to your outer ankles. Move the back of your head even further back. So you're coming more towards the back of the head, but lift the shoulder blades up. Be in the pose from the abdomen, as if it's holding you in the pose. If you're holding the ankles, bend your elbows out to the sides. Excellent. Now everybody come back to concave back. Lift your chest. Shuffle your feet closer together. Bring your hands to the hips. Come on up. Good. Bring your arms and your legs back together. Take a deep breath in and out. Those of you who practice headstand, set yourself up for headstand. I'm going to give you one variation today, so just watch first, but get ready. Those of you not doing headstand, I want you to come into Supta Baddha Konasana. Okay, so I'm showing with a bolster and 2 bricks and a blanket. So if you don't have these props, you can also just do it flat on your back. So I have a bolster under my spine, and I have bricks outside my thighs, and I have a blanket under my head. So this is nice, simple Supta Baddha Konasana. Just rest and focus on the abdomen, drawing back and spreading, so that your organs move towards the back of your body. Headstanders, get ready and then come and watch. We'll do Echapata today. Echapata. So I'm going to show, let's all, unless you're completely confident, I'll leave it up to you. There's a few intermediate students in the class. If you're completely confident in the center of the room, that's fine. But whenever you start to learn variations, you go back to the wall. So I'm going to show you at the wall, okay? So this is called Echapata, which means bringing one leg down. Okay, so watch. So again, I'm at the wall. Supta Baddha Konasana, folks, just go into your pose. Now I'm using a channel. Please don't use a channel if you don't know. Don't use that if you don't know what that is. So once you're in your pose, drawing the navel back, you keep one leg on the wall and you slowly lower one leg down. Without letting the leg bend, without letting the legs bend, the legs have to be straight. Without letting this leg drift, without letting this hip drop. The hip has to lift. Some of you can come pretty far down. You can see how far you can go down without letting this heel come away from the wall. My buttocks is not on the wall. My navel is back. As I draw the leg down, my navel is back. Okay, so let's do that. Get ready. Go up into your pose, headstanders, and then we'll do that pose. If you're fine in the center, I don't mind. But again, do less with more integrity rather than more with less integrity. That's how you could get injured. Supta Baddha Konasana, folks, you have the choice of holding your elbows around the head, if that feels good to you. Otherwise, just keep your arms at your sides with your palms upwards. So as you press the forearms down, headstanders, the wrists down, lift the inner shoulders up, lift the collarbones up, lift the breastbone up, lift your shoulder blades up, and bring your front ribs back so that the abdomen is also drawing back. Bring that space below the navel towards the pubis back. Bring your tailbone forward and lift your buttocks to the heels. Roll the outer thighs to the inner thighs and extend up through the inner edges of the feet. Remember how the feet felt, the inner edges of your feet, when you were standing in those standing poses with your feet on the wall or pushing into the belt. You should still feel the inner edges of your feet are reaching upwards. Those of you at the wall, make sure that your heels are on the wall, but your buttocks is off of the wall. Okay, now make sure your eyes are soft, your jaw is soft, you're not gripping, clenching in the pose. There's an easefulness. This is a great pose to feel your ahamkara, that I sense. You can really feel it in headstand. Okay, now we'll begin the variation. So keep your left heel on the wall and turn your left leg in. Inhale. As you exhale, keep your shoulders lifting as you lower your right leg down just to the level of your hip, not any lower for now. Good. Roll the left leg in. Keep reaching the left heel upwards. Draw your navel back. Keep your right hip lifting, and maybe you can lower the foot further down. Maybe you can lower the foot further down. And bring your foot closer to your face. As you lower it down, the foot comes closer to the face. If you can touch the floor, touch the floor. Otherwise, draw that navel back. Draw the navel back, and then go back up and reestablish your Shavasana. Some of your abdomens are coming forward, so bring the front ribs into the back ribs. Roll the outer thighs in. Keep extending up through the inner edge of the feet. Those of you in Baddha Konasana, you can switch the cross of your arms. Now keep your right leg lifting upwards, roll it in, roll the right leg in, and then bring your left leg down slowly without letting your left leg drift to the right, without letting your left hip drop. Lift your left hip up towards your inner right foot. Now pause. Keep your shoulders lifting. Draw the navel back. Inhale. As you exhale, maybe you can lower the leg lower by reaching your sitting bone towards the heel. That's it. Draw the navel back and bring your left foot closer to your face to bring it down. If you can touch the floor, you touch the floor, and then you go back up. Excellent. Abdomen back. Now keep your shoulders lifting. Now some of you, it's time to come down. If you're tired, come down, keep your shoulders lifting. Others of you, you can do one more round on your own, nice and slowly on your own. But if it's time to come down, please come down and rest in child's pose. Otherwise, you're doing one more round on your own. Making it a meditation. Nice and slow, just thinking about understanding what you're doing more than achieving some result. When you start to think of achieving a result, that's when you get into trouble. When you think of understanding, you're good to go. Those of you who've come down, rest, fully rest. Don't keep coming up and down now. It's better because it just keeps raising your blood pressure and you could get a headache. So just rest. Good. Once you've done it on both sides a second time, keep your shoulders lifting and then lightly come down out of the pose in your own time and rest in child's pose. Those of you in Baddha Konasana, just bring your arms back alongside the body if you haven't already done that. Those of you in Baddha Konasana, stay there. Those of you who did headstand, come up and be in Mukhtasana, concave back. So hold on to your toes, look forward, so you get your C7 vertebra to come back in. So be in Mukhtasana, concave back. The feet are hip distance apart. The heels are wider than the toes. I'm holding on to the toes. Otherwise, you can use a belt under your metatarsals. Turn your inner upper arms forward. Draw the shoulders back and press the shoulder blades into the back. Look forward so that you're reversing. You're getting that C7 to come deep in. It's a great pose to do after headstand. Bring the shoulder blades into the back. Move the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Yes, very good. Abdomen is lifted as we've been doing for the whole class. Very good. Now those of you in, you can come up out of that. And then those of you in Baddha Konasana, stretch out your legs. Come and watch. So we'll do the Supta Mukhtasana series. So watch now. So some of you can again hold on to the big toe. That's fine. I'll be showing with a belt. So please come and watch because there's different stages of the pose. Okay, so I'll show different stages for different body types today. Okay, so some of you, once you're here, and of course you've made your adjustments, right? Lifting your chest. You can always have a blanket under the head. You belt this right foot. Some of you will just do this. So you're just holding like Livia, David, just hold here, and then you're just working to get to 90, and maybe you'll just be lightly doing that. That's all that you'll do. But some of you are ready to go here. Okay, so you're holding on to the belt close to the foot. This left hand now comes to my thigh. It comes to my thigh. And look how the arm is the same way. This thigh is moving away from my abdomen. I turn my arm, and I bring my elbow down. So I'm pulling in. But my navel is drawing down. The navel draws down, the thigh moves away. And then I lift my head up and I come up. And I bring my forehead towards the shin. And then we'll go out to the side. Okay? So get ready. So some of you, like I said, you're just here. You're going to be here, like we normally do. And then maybe you're pulling in a little bit. That's all that you're doing. Others of you are doing the classic pose. Get ready. So if you're doing that variation, hold the belt so your hands are apart. And just come to 90 degrees and just stay there. Okay, make sure that when you come onto your back, do your adjustments, lengthen your buttocks flesh, lift your chest, put a blanket under the head. Those of you doing the classic pose, hold onto the belt or hold onto the big toe with just your right hand. Bring your left hand onto the top of the thigh and pause, pause. Good, now those of you holding the belt with two hands, keep your everybody keep your left thigh down. Don't let your left thigh come up. Keep it down. That's it. And then those of you doing the variation, just start to pull your right foot closer towards your face. You're holding with two hands. Those of you holding with one hand, turn your right arm. Bring your outer right elbow down into the right shoulder. It should feel like your right shoulder is coming up to the ear, and your right foot is now coming in. Straighten the leg, Laura. Straighten that right leg. Draw your navel down. With your left hand on the top left thigh, come up. Come up from your abdomen. Draw the abdomen down. Lift your head and your chest. Bend your elbow out to the side. Bring your forehead towards your shin, your right shin. Forehead to the shin. The left hand is on the top of that left thigh. Push it down. Very good. Now everybody come down. Bring your right leg out to the side. Right leg out to the side. Supta Padangusthasana number 2. Everybody can do this. You're holding the belt with with the right hand. Bring your left arm out to the side. Go nice and slowly because you don't want your left back waist to come up. Your left back waist has to stay down into the floor. And your abdomen, that space below the navel towards the pubis, it draws down and it spreads. But it moves a little bit more towards the left. It has to move to the left to keep that left back waist down. Good. Now come back to the center, switch hands on the belt, or hold on to the little toe side of the foot with the left hand. That's it. And then slowly bring your right leg over to the left, just a little bit. Don't let your right hip come up off the floor. Keep it pretty much grazing the floor. So there's some contact, even if it's very light. And then everybody, as you move your inner left thigh down, move your outer right hip towards the inner left foot. That's it. And as you bring the right leg to the left, you have to draw the abdomen back, and you have to move it back to the right side. So get your back right waist down to the floor. Keep it down as you bring the right leg further to the left. That's it. Keep your back right waist down. Bring your right leg further to the left. Bring your back right waist down. Bring your right leg further to the left without lifting that back right waist. It has to go down. Very good. And now release. Excellent. Stretch your legs outwards. Lift your arms up over your head. Stretch the fascia of the abdomen. So you're lengthening the sides of the abdomen. Draw the front ribs into the back ribs. Draw the navel down. And just extend. Pull your fingernails away from your heels. Inhale. As you exhale, release your arms to the sides. Belt your left foot. So again, some of you are holding the belt with hands apart, and you're just working to get to 90 degrees. Others of you are holding both sides of the belt with the left hand, or you're holding the big toe. And your right hand comes to the top of your right thigh with your arms straight. Yes. The first work for everybody is to focus on the leg that's on the floor, the foundational leg. Get it down. Get the back of your right thigh down. Tip your sitting bones towards the floor. That's it. And draw the navel down. The inner right thigh is moving down. Extend the inner right leg. Now, those of you holding the belt with two hands, you're pulling the foot slightly closer in. Maybe it's fractionally. That's your work. Those of you holding the belt with one hand, turn your left arm so that the bicep comes up towards your face. Pull the outer left elbow down towards the left shoulder. So now your left foot is coming closer. Draw the navel down. Bend your left elbow out to the side. Lift up your head and your chest. Bring your forehead towards your shin. Keep stretching your right hand all the way to your right ankle. Press that right thigh down. Draw the navel down and spread it. Lift your head and your chest off the floor. Your head and your chest, your upper back is off the floor. Upper back. Good. Now come down and take your leg out to the side. Supta Padang Mukhtasana 2. Everyone can do this. Bring your left leg out to the side, but go slower rather than faster so that you can draw the abdomen back and spread it to the right side as you bring the leg to the left side. And it's just like we did in the standing poses. You're reaching that left foot to infinity. Reach it to infinity, into the belt, into your fingers, without letting your back right waist come up. Only you know for sure because it's an online class. I can't see for sure, I can only guess, but I'm asking you to be truthful with yourself. To see if your back right waist is up. So the abdomen has to draw back and it has to move down. Relax your eyes, relax your jaw. Good, now come back to the center. Hold the belt with your other hand, the right hand, I think it is. Yeah, that's it, the right hand, there you go. And now keep your left hip down. Inhale, as you exhale, bring the left leg over to the right. But don't let your left hip just lift up off the floor. That's destabilizing your pose. Keep your outer left hip grazing the floor. Now move your abdomen back and spread it back to the left. Keep your back left waist down. Keep moving your outer left hip shank down towards your inner right foot as you bring the left leg further over to the right on the exhalation. That's good, Tracy. Keep your outer left back waist down and move your left foot further to the right. Keep your inner right thigh down. Keep your left back waist down into the floor. You should really feel the abdomen draws back and bring the left leg further to the right, further to the right. So this is Parivrita Supta Padang Mukhtasana. Excellent. And now release. Very good. Again, stretch your legs up over stretch your arms up over your head, stretch your legs outwards. You can just have your feet apart, just so there's space. Pull your buttocks towards your heels. Bring your front ribs to the back ribs. Extend your fingernails away from your heels. So you feel like the very bottom of your breastbone and the navel get closer together as you draw that space, that lower abdomen down and spread it to both sides. Now bring your arms back alongside your body. Bring your knees into the chest, Pava Mukhtasana. Now those of you who need to, I want you to put some height under your pelvis. So you put height under it can be a bolster, it can be folded blankets if you need to, okay, to make the pose easier. Put folded blankets, put a bolster, anything you have around under your pelvis, and make sure that the edge of the support is right at the top of the buttocks. Okay, so it's not in your lumbar spine. And then lift your legs straight up and lift your arms up over your head. Lift your arms up over your head. Now, if this feels too much with your arms over your head, then just hold on to the sides of the sticky mat. Grab hold of the outer edges of the sticky mat. Make sure that your feet are right above your hips. Okay, and then ask yourself, is both sides of my back waist coming up? In other words, am I arching? Is that space between your navel and your pubic bone still coming down and spreading? If you need height under your pelvis, have the courage to take it. And even if you have to use a belt around your feet and just hold your legs up with a belt. And if you're holding your legs up with a belt, then you don't lower your legs. Everybody else, lower your legs down slowly from 90 down to 60 degrees. Slowly. Abdomen down to 30 degrees. Slowly, abdomen down to 10 degrees. Abdomen down, sideways, and down to where you're hovering above the floor, like an inch above the floor. And now bend the knees into the chest and bring your legs straight up. If you can't straighten your arms, move further away from the wall so you can fully extend your arms. You want your arms to be straight. Your arms are part of the pose. Yes, good. Otherwise, you're holding onto the sides of the sticky mat. Make sure that the sides of your waist are down. Make sure that you're not doing the pose with your eyes, your jaw, or your tongue. Inhale, draw the navel down and spread it. Lower your legs down from 90 down to 60. Buttocks to the heels and then down to 30. Stretch the sticky mat with your hands. If you're holding the mat, down to 10 degrees from the floor and then down to where you're hovering. Yes, and then very slowly as you can, without arching your back, lower your legs all the way to the floor, straight legs. Let's do that again, because that once you come down, you're hovering, don't bend the knees, lower your legs down to the floor. Now the exception is, if you feel like you've lost it, then yes, you bend the knees into the chest and you go up that way again. Let's do it one more time. Bring the legs up. Either lift your arms or hold on to the sides of the sticky mat. Make sure that you have that support under your pelvis as needed. If you're holding the mat, turn the tops of your arms out. Get your outer shoulders back. Draw the abdomen down. Inhale. And now lower your legs down from 90 down to 60 degrees without bending your legs, without lifting the abdomen. The navel is down. Draw the legs down to 30 degrees from the floor. Pull your fingernails away from your heels. Draw your legs down to 10 degrees. That's it. Down to where you're hovering. And then as slowly as you can, draw your legs down to the floor, down to the floor. Very good. Now draw the knees into the chest. Wrap your arms around the legs. Excellent. Okay, so roll to the side and let's do Navasana. I'll show you the chair in case you'd like to utilize the chair. So Navasana with a chair. Navasana, Parikurna Navasana is the boat pose. If you'd like to utilize a chair, that's fine. You can utilize a chair. So I have my chair and I bring my shin bones onto the seat of the chair. Notice that my feet are a little bit higher than my head. I hold on here, so I have an isometric contraction. I'm pushing this backwards and I'm pulling this as I lift my chest. So this is probably the easiest. You can even sit on a folded blanket if you find that your sacrum is falling backwards. So once again, practice with a chair. If this is a super challenging pose for you, lifting the sacrum up, lifting your breastbone up, okay? Drawing that space again. This is drawing down, and this is helping to lift the sacrum. Otherwise, come to the center, and let's practice in the center. Okay, so use a chair as needed. Otherwise, sit in Dandasana. Sit in Dandasana with your legs extended forwards. That's it. Okay, and then bend your knees and bring your fingertips under the backs of your knees and lift your feet up to the level of your knees. Keep your chest coming in towards your thighs. Roll your shoulders back. Draw the abdomen back. Some of you are staying here. This is fine. Others, if you can let go of your knees, as long as you don't start to fall backwards, some of you can straighten your legs as if your legs were on the chair. Draw the navel back. Draw the navel back. Your arms are in line with your shoulders. Nice. Very good. Okay, and then release. Okay, so watch. What tends to happen is this. So as soon as you let go, what I saw was some of you let go, but you did this. You fell back. No, it's better to hold. Do less with more integrity. Keep holding. Get the actions of the pose. This navel draws down and the chest lifts. It's Tadasana, isn't it? Others of you, as long as you can keep that, then you go here and then you slowly go up into the pose. Okay, so let's try it. Get ready again. Parikurna Navasana. I hope you're practicing this pose a lot. This is in the very first poses he gives in Light on Yoga. It's the very first sequences he gives this pose. That's the importance of having a strong connection of your abdomen. Get ready, sit in Dandasana, bend your knees, hold on to the backs of the knees. Hold on to the backs of the knees. That's it. Don't rock back. That's it. Lift your chest, Trace. Lift your chest. The abdomen draws back and the chest lifts. Float your feet up to the level of your knees. Maybe that's your pose for today. Otherwise, extend your arms out alongside your shin bones. And then, maybe that's your pose. Don't let your chest fall back. Lift your chest, friend. Straighten your legs. Straighten your legs. Don't fall back, Robin. You're falling back. You're falling back. Your boat is sinking. Lift your arms higher, Bethany, so your hands are as high as your shoulders. Bring your arms in. It's the sides of the boat. Beautiful. That's it. And now release. Excellent. Okay. Now, some of you, like David and Olivia, I want you just to have a bolster. You can have a bolster, and you can just sit, and you can release here, and just be in a nice forward bend. You can have your arms here, or you can have your arms here, and you can be in a nice forward bend. Others of you, if you would like to, if you feel that the sticky mat or the floor that you're on is too hardened, then you put a blanket here across the mat, only needed if you feel like you want some more padding, because we're going to do rock and rolling. So rock and rolling, watch. I sit towards one edge of my mat, making sure that nothing is over my head there. So make sure that you have lots of free space. And then I draw my navel back and I come forward. I'm not holding on. I come to Paschimottanasana and then I rock back into Halasana. And I just go back and forth in that way. And I'm coming from here. This is like the center of my wheel. Back and forth from my abdomen. That same work that we did today. Get ready. Otherwise, just take Paschimottanasana if you'd rather not do that. Paschimottanasana, that's fine. You can use a chair. Make sure to put height under your pelvis if you need it. So go back and forth. Start in Paschimottanasana. Come forward, head down. That's it. Abdomen back. And then go back and forth. Halasana, Paschimottanasana. Halasana, Paschimottanasana. Don't hold on to your feet. You're not holding on with your feet at all. That's it. Paschimottanasana, Halasana. Go back and forth. And make it from your abdomen. From your abdomen, you're rocking and rolling back and forth. Put some blankets under your pelvis, Tammy. Put some blankets under your pelvis, Tammy, so you can go deeper into the pose. That's it. Yes. Go back and forth from your abdomen. Touch the floor and then go. Don't think about it too much. You're just rocking. It's like rock and roll music. You know, you can't think about it too much. You just have to enjoy it. There you go. That's the way. Very good. And then release. Come forward. Paschimottanasana. Okay, so that came well. That came well. Now we'll try to add on. So we start to add on poses. We start to add on poses, right? So now we'll add on Navasana. But you don't have to. That was enough. Stay there. Okay? Those of you in the forward bend, if you'd like to do a different forward bend, you can take Upavishta Konasana. Take your legs wide and have some support, Upavishta Konasana. Everybody else, watch. So now I come from Paschimottanasana, and I go back. And then I come into Navasana. And you have to kind of land it. You see how I'm rocking? So you have to kind of land it. Navasana. And then Paschimottanasana. So you come from Halasana, and then you come up as best you can into Navasana. That's it. And then you come back to Paschimottanasana. Let's try it. Get ready. Otherwise, just skip the Navasana. Okay? So Paschimottanasana, Paschimottanasana, Navasana. Get closer to that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can. You might have to get closer to that cabinet, Tammy, or put your chair in front of you and rest your forearms on the chair. That's it. Don't hold it for long. And then Paschimottanasana. After Navasana, Paschimottanasana. And then Halasana. Halasana. That's it. And then Navasana. Halasana, Navasana. Paschimottanasana. Paschimottanasana. Halasana. Halasana. That's it. Halasana. Navasana. Navasana. That's it. Paschimottanasana. Very good. One more time. Halasana. That's it. Navasana. That's it. Paschimottanasana. Stay there. Beautiful. Stay there in Paschimottanasana. Cool down. Would you like to see one more? One more, yes? So you can do that. We'll just do one more. Watch. Be careful if your blanket is sticky and slippery, okay? Be careful if your blanket is sticky or slippery. So you come down and then you have to really get more momentum as you come all the way. Uttanasana. That's it. And then Halasana. Uttanasana. Okay? Give it a go if you'd like to try it. Otherwise, just do one of the previous two that we did. Navasana, Halasana, or Halasana, Paschimottanasana, or you can add Navasana. Otherwise, that's it. Good, Bethany. Good. Feet together. Go back. Halasana, Uttanasana, Uttanasana. That's it. Halasana, Uttanasana. That's good. Yes, feet together. Halasana, Uttanasana. Very good, you guys. It's fun. Okay, now everybody lie down on your back. Everybody come out in whatever pose you're in. Get ready for Chatushpadasana. Put your belts on your ankles. Even if you can hold your ankles, put a belt. Put a belt, even if you can hold. Take your heels wider than your toes and lift your hips upwards. Lift your hips up. So start to stretch the abdomen now. After all of those abdominal poses, now we're stretching the abdomen. That's the way. Make sure that your feet are as wide as the shoulders. Hold on to the belt as close to the ankles as you can. Pull on that belt. Yes. And bring the outer shoulders back. Lift your shoulder blades and bring your shin bones back. Shin bones back, but that's it, and then come down. Good, we'll do that 2 more times, Chatushpadasana. Don't worry about holding on today. It's not your deepest back bend. It's just kind of reversing the direction of the poses that we did in this particular class. That's one of the hallmarks of Iyengar, is to balance, right? So come up, lift your hips. That's it. So press your outer heels down to lift the hips. Pull the arms down. Turn the tops of the arms out. Lift the shoulder blades up. Lift the shoulder blades up. Shift your body weight back so that the back of the knee comes into the buttocks. Roll the outer thighs in so that the inner feet press down. Beautiful. Come down and rest. Those of you who have an Urdhva Dhanurasana practice, if you'd like to do Urdhva Dhanurasana, now you can. Otherwise, lift up your hips for Chatushpadasana. Otherwise, go up into Urdhva Dhanurasana. That's it. So lift your hips up. That's it. Good. So press the outer heels down. Lift the outer hips up. Keep your inner feet pressing so that your knees don't splay apart. Good. And then come down. Excellent. Take a deep breath in and out. Okay, those of you who do shoulder stand, get ready for shoulder balance. Okay, if you don't do shoulder stand, put your legs up onto the wall. Put your hips on a bolster and put your legs up the wall with your legs wide at first. Take your legs wide at first. So you're doing Baddha Konasana with your legs onto the wall wide. Those doing shoulder stand, we will be doing Echapata and Parsva Echapata. So get ready for those poses. Those of you with your legs up the wall, that's good. Have a space between the bolster and the wall, just a little bit. Not dramatic space, but there is some space there. So the bolster even touches your back low ribs as much as your sacrum there. And make sure that your toes aren't dropping downwards. Try to get your sitting bones closer and closer to the wall. That's more challenging if your groins are tighter. Those of you doing shoulder stand, come into plow pose now with support. We did it without support, right? Get on the top of your shoulders. If you're using a belt, put your belt on and then go up into shoulder balance. You don't have any height under your hips, right, Trace? No, there's no height, right? There's no height? Okay, so just do plow pose. You have a towel. Just do plow pose without, and just stay in plow pose without rocking and rolling. Just do plow pose and stay there for a few breaths. That's the way. Just stay there. That's fine. Just be there. As long as that feels okay for your neck. Okay, good. Now, those of you, be up in shoulder stand. Get your elbows closer together. Get those outer elbows down. Bring your hands down to the bra line. And again, connect as you walk your hands down. Lift the skin of your back up. Bring your abdomen back and lift it upwards so it helps. And then lift your thighs up away from your abdomen. And bring your buttocks to the heels. Now, those of you with your legs up the wall, bring your legs into Baddha Konasana. Baddha Konasana, bottoms of the feet together, the knees are spreading apart. Those of you in shoulder stand, keep your left leg lifted. Draw your right leg down just halfway. Draw the right leg down. As you do that, walk your hands further down your back. Don't let your right leg drift to the left. Don't let your right hip drop. Keep your legs extended, poker stiff. Now draw your abdomen back into the body. And bring your right foot down to the floor. Bring your right foot down to the floor without dropping your right hip, without letting your left leg come too far forward. Good. And then go back up. Keep your right leg lifting. Inhale. Bring your left leg down halfway. And as you do that, walk your hands further down your back, further down your back. Lift your left hip up. Don't let your left leg drift to the right. Now draw your navel back and bring your left foot to the floor. Bring your left sitting bone, touch the floor with your left toes. That's it, navel back. Good, and the foot can come closer to the head when you do that. Very good, now come up. Very good. Walk your hands down your back. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Walk your elbows in again. Lift your chest. That's the way. And now, turn your right leg out so your right heel comes into your left arch. Bring your right leg out to the side. Good. Keep your right leg right in line with your shoulder, not towards the elbow, not towards the head. Yes. Don't let your left leg drift to the left. Keep reaching that right leg to infinity. Touch the floor with your right toes. Touch the floor with the right toes. That's the way. Don't let your left leg drift to the left. Come back up. Walk your hands down your back. Last time, second side. Turn your left leg out, heel to arch. Those of you with your legs up the wall, stretch your legs up the wall now, straight. Be in the classic pose. That's it. Make sure as you bring your left leg out to the side, it's in line with your shoulder, not your elbow, not your left elbow or your left ear, your left shoulder. Keep your right leg from drifting. Lengthen that left leg to infinity. Touch the floor with your toes. Yes. So Bethany, stretch your legs up now. Be in the classic pose. Make sure, yes, that's it. Be in the classic pose. Roll the outer thighs to the inner thighs. Good. That's it, Trace. Very good. Okay, now those of you in shoulder stand, come into plow pose once again. Take your legs as wide as your shoulders. Bend your knees, Karna Pidasana. Bring your arms to the backs of the knees. Come onto the toenails. And move your knees towards your blankets and towards your ears. Move your buttock bones towards your heels. And draw the navel back. There's a real spreading in this pose of the navel. Karna Pidasana. You really feel it here in this pose. Now shoulder standers, start to come down out of your pose and slide your shoulders off the blankets. Those with your legs up the wall, slide backwards. Bring your hips in front of your props. And then slowly roll to the side. And then everybody take your time and prepare for Shavasana. Have any support you need under your legs, under your head. And if you can have it, have something to cover your eyes. Take as much time as you need. Make sure that your buttocks flesh is lengthened, your chest is lifted, the back of the neck is long, the eyes are closed and maybe covered. You can bring the legs at least as wide as the hips. Bring your arms out so there's room for the underarms to breathe. Palms upwards, feet outwards. And just let go of your abdomen now. Make it soft so that your internal organs move towards the back of the body. Relax your legs completely. Relax your arms completely. Relax your jaw completely. Your tongue. Sink your eyes back to your brain. Draw your ears inwards until all there is the sound of Om, the vibration of Om. Soften the skin of your face. Draw the front brain to the back brain. Draw the head to the heart. Resolve yourself into that sense of I, that ahamkara. Resolve yourself into the sense of I. And then go beyond that sense of I. Let go. Relax. Release. Let go. hands to your body and deepen your breathing. Bend your knees and roll to your side. Come up to sit, any position that feels good to you. As you practice, keep making the connection of the abdomen and the chest. Bring your hands to your heart center. Keep resolving yourself into the feeling of I, and then inquiring as to who or what that I is. This is yoga. Lift your chest upwards, bow your head downwards. Namaste, peace and blessings to you all. Have a glorious, glorious Sunday. Thank you so much for coming and practicing.